What up, everybody? It's the boy, the Infinite Dragon here, and today we're going to be reacting to Man-at-Arms God of War Kratos Axe. This is for the new upcoming game, God of War game. I don't recall what that is called. Actually, I don't think I ever knew what it was called. But without further ado, we're going to get off into this video. Everybody wanted to make this axe. I wonder if they're gonna do like that little
I'm Matt.
I'm Carrie.
We are the Stagmer Brothers, a Baltimore knife and sword. We're going to be building some of your favorite weapons. And some
you know what I want them
to
to build? I want them to build Schultz sword from
This is Man-at-Arms.
From
Reforged.
I want to see how
Recently
they
at E3, they released some new game footage of the new God of War game where we see the return of Kratos.
I am hungry.
But this time, he's no longer wielding his Chaos Blades. He's got one big, badass axe, and we knew we were going to have to make it here on Man-at-Arms. We're going to start with some wrought iron. We're going to make that the body of the axe because it looks really crunchy in the gameplay footage. And then for the edge, we're going to use a Damascus billet, 15 and 20 and 1095. There's going to be a lot of intricate detail work at the end. So we're going to get right to it. I'm going to prep those pieces for the Damascus and then hand them off to Ilya, and he'll begin the forging. After prepping all of our pieces, John can now carefully weld them all together so that we can begin the forge welding. Now that our billet is prepped and it's up to temperature, it's time to let the madman go to work.
I guess it doesn't really hurt them, because like the sparks all fly off in every direction and probably touch the skin. I guess it just doesn't bother them.
After forge welding our billet, Ilya's gonna draw it out a bit and cut that piece in half. He's then gonna move on to flattening the wrought iron and cut 2 equal pieces of that as well. These 4 pieces will make up the body of our axe.
I'm not sure what they're doing. Usually I understand what they're doing, but I've never seen them make an axe, I don't think. At least not like this.
Now we're ready to do a little house construction. This is the floor, that's wrought iron. This is the wall, and this is the wall. Those are high carbon. They're going to be our front edge and back edge. And here's the roof, wrought iron again. Those pieces are going to be cleaned up and tack welded, and a handle is going to be welded so we can manage it. And then we're going to forge weld it gently in the press so that our little compartment right here is not distorted too much. That's going to become the socket for the handle. After that, the walls are going to be pinched out and become the front edge and the back edge.
Alright, my question is, how would they do that back in the olden days when they didn't have TIG?
Once he gets it drawn out just a tad, he's going to insert a rod into the eye of the axe so he can start forging that to shape a bit as well. So the roof on Ilya's little house came tumbling in a little bit last night. We had some tears in the wrought iron here and here. We could still go back and make this work, but because of our time limit, It's actually gonna save us a bunch of time to go ahead back a few steps. We're still gonna use wrought iron, we're still gonna use Damascus, but Ilya has a much better construction idea how to make this axe happen.
I flattened out and assembled.
I love
some
when they
wrought
mess
iron
up
strips.
because then I feel
When
like
this
it feels
is
like it's
welded
way
up
more real.
and assembled
I mean,
into a
obviously
plate,
it is, but
it's time to proceed with the combining of the
it's
Damascus
more like
and the wrought
professional.
iron
Oh,
and
this
make the
didn't work.
axe.
Let's try this. Yeah, I know. Now he's like cutting it in half and folding it to make it pure. Like that's what I thought was gonna happen. They were gonna do for the other build.
Now that the iron is sized correctly, Ilya can attach it to the Damascus billet. It may look weird that Ilya laid his piece of metal onto a 2x4, but the reason he did this was to prevent any oxygen getting to the surface of that metal, making it scale up and inhibiting his weld. He now lays the wrought iron on top of the Damascus paddle, goes to the hammer, and very gently forge welds it. You can see that you don't need brute strength for this process, it just has to be the perfect strike.
I wonder what he's doing
Now
here.
that the preform for his axe is complete,
preform.
he can move on to bending it over and forge welding the edge. You can see that he uses the dies on the power hammer to clamp down. As I hold from behind, he strikes and starts bending his U shape.
Dude, I have no idea what we're about to do with this. Okay, I can see it now. Alright. I can see where the head of the axe is now.
You may notice that we have a little extra material on the edge of our axe now. Ilya basically did what would be called a reverse hot dog in the bun method, where he took a bill of Damascus that he layered with some more wrought iron and folded over the edge to give us some more mass. Ilya is now doing something.
I mean, I guess it's
not
always
exactly
better to have
safe.
more material than
He's
we
going to
need.
use a
You can
hand
always just
hammer
take it
underneath
off.
the power hammer dies very carefully to spread very specific areas of the axe.
This is like so, like, careful. Like, a lot of this has to come from experience.
So the edge of the
And I
axe
know-
is now grown too large to fit our welding forge. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping the charcoal forge hot. Ilya's modified our heat treating forge so we can get the axe in there a little bit and gain some temperature. But we really want to achieve our forge welding temperatures here. So we're going to be going back and forth between this forge, the power hammer, some hand forging, just to spread that edge out to get it right where we want it to be.
Alright, what I was about to say is that a lot of this kind of work is like, they have to learn architectural work before they like do anything that has to do with like making swords and stuff like that. And I guess that would be a lot of experience because I guess you can't like make like paintings and stuff.
It's now
if you don't
time to
know how
forge
draw
weld in a
perspective
Damascus
and
bit.
stuff like that.
Ilya already prepped what will become the back edge. We now have to force that bit in so that it fits just right, take it out, bring everything up to temperature, and then do our forge weld. After it's forge weld, we can then draw it out a bit and it'll be ready for grinding.
It's really weird like that.
So we have the bulk of our axe now ground to shape. Ilya's really had to think outside the box to get this done. Guys who forge these axes on the regular have a ton, maybe several dozen different very specific tools to use during forging that we just don't have because we don't do it very often.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure if the
they don't
Vikings
really
had
do it.
themselves an Ilya, we'd probably all be speaking Old Norse right now, if you know what I mean. But my next step is to get this thing profiled, and then we'll move right on to edging. Now that the main body of our axe is now defined and ready to go, it's time to start on those land jets. Ilya's gonna forge those out of wrought iron. He's gonna move to the power hammer to get his basic shape, then he's gonna punch those 3 central holes that you see, and then we'll be able to attach them. So I did a lot of perimeter grinding last night on this axe. Got it to the right shape we're going for. Ilya forged these land jets out of wrought iron, and then he punched 3 holes on either side. The next step for me is to edge it. I already beveled some on the back blade here, but I haven't done anything on the front. I'm gonna go ahead and finish that up, and then I'll hand it off to Ilya, and he'll get those runes carved and inlaid.
The magic motif on Kratos' axe allows it to transform into an ice axe later on. So right now I'm using my simple W2 cutter and cutting in the design, so later on will be inlaid with nickel.
Dude, is anyone excited for that game?
Because the outside of this axe is all wrought iron, it cuts fairly
I don't think I've actually seen the trailers for that. I've only seen the gameplay trailer. We go watch the trailers here
so I
next.
have to be very careful.
Ilya's gonna use a hand engraver and just remove material and create tiny little trenches. Some of those trenches will be later filled with pure nickel, leaving a nice bright line. Others will leave plain, it'll give a nice dark line. He's been carving on the face of the axe now for about an hour. Most of the runes are set in place. He's now gonna start doing some of the inlay. After further looking into the axe handle on the gameplay footage, I noticed that
Kind of curved.
it's a modern shape. This isn't really an historical axe. This handle is basically a fireman's axe handle. I'm gonna go ahead and lay that shape in.
Then they gotta like change the. I'm not sure how they're gonna do it because
I got most of our shape sanded in here. I'm just gonna hand it off to Ference and he's gonna get the dragon carved in the end. I'm just gonna go ahead and check it and see how it fits to our head right now. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna have to shave a little more off the back and the front side, but I think that's about the right length. Whew! It's gonna be wicked.
Matt has
good.
gotten us the hickory handle for the battle axe for God of War. He's done some light shaping around here. We've started to do some profile cuts, as you can see. I've done a light sketch on the top. I'm not going to sketch the profile on the front. I have a mental picture in my head of what this looks like dimensionally. I'm going to work off of that. There's not a whole lot of reference for what this really looks like. It's a brand new game. Things are not out yet. So we're going to do a close rendition of this. It's a primitive Viking-style dragon, and we're going to follow those parameters.
It's weird that it's a Viking-style dragon, considering that Kratos is a Greek. I think
So
he's
you've
still a
seen
guy,
us
right? He's a
begin to
Greek
lay
guy?
out the artwork and the carving.
know.
We
I haven't
started
played
to carve in our
Ascension, so I don't
lines,
know what
starting to
happened
get
in
our
the
pierce
storyline.
throughs like underneath of the tongue. We've actually finished this side so you can see the differences. It's finished in a way to retain that primitive look of carving. We're going to pass this out to Matt now. He's going to go ahead and finish the entire axe handle, and we're going to get her done.
Now that
They got
all our
some good
runes are
music
carved
on
in
here.
and the inlay is now complete, the last thing we have to do is heat treat our axe. Ilya heats it up in the forge and quenches just the edge into the oil. Not only does this harden the edge, but also gets our surfaces crusty again from where we sanded on them before.
That's so cool looking.
God of War, more like Gods of the Forge. We brought Kratos' new axe to life. I
Bad
love
puns,
it.
but I
Can't
enjoyed
wait
it.
to see this thing smash stuff up in the demos.
Looks good. Ooh, that looks real good. Looks like a good axe.
Sneak a peek.
Guys, that's clean. Alright, last time Man at Arms uploaded, they uploaded the Green Lantern ring, and I didn't really think that's like, I mean, it was cool, it was really cool, but it was interesting to see like people who make weapons make jewelry. But yeah, that's about it, guys. If you guys want me to react to anything, put that down in the comments below. I'm probably gonna go check out the new God of War trailer. I don't even know what the name of the game is called. I just know it's God of War, and Kratos has a son now. The original link is in the description. I'll probably link to Man at Arms somewhere on here. That's about it. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.